You're watching Extra Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And this is the Extra channel, which is not the main channel. We have another channel. It's called just Throttle House. That's why this one has an extra in front of it.
Moving on. This is the M5 CS.
And we've already reviewed it.
Right.
But here we are reviewing it. Why?
Okay, so here's what's happened since we reviewed it.
Yeah.
One, Thomas has lived with it
Yep.
and almost left his wife for it. And two, I think we both realised we had a bit more to say.
Yes.
Especially, and I kind of want to go over what happened.
But those Throttle House films that you see are very like, we like to capture the sound of the car as much as we do our voices, right? So there's a lot of other shots and stuff in there. Instead of us just talking, we could literally talk for hours about the cars.
Yes.
So here's a chance for us to talk for hours. It's not gonna be an hour.
I also think that when we are particularly excited about a car,
Yes.
why not give it that extra moment?
I agree. Let's talk about this because I think, and I said this about, okay, excluding the GTC4 Lusso, which I said might just be the best car ever.
Okay.
I said the E63 S is the best car in the world.
Okay.
Because the M5 competition and the regular M5 was not that good. I didn't like it.
Look, it's really good at being an M5 competition.
Ish.
But it just
No.
the steering lets it down.
I disagree. It doesn't.
Power sedan.
Yes, that's all it does is really fast straight line speed. This CS version is
Slower.
the best. What?
No, not so.
It's not. It's way faster.
It's
He was joking.
real quick.
He was being funny. This is the best car in the world right now. This is the best car in the world. Like, if you consider all things, including looks, performance, how it makes you feel, the way that it drives, the stuff that it can do.
I mean, it's 170 grand.
It better be.
Yeah.
Right? For, like, that's a lot of money.
It's got to be good.
The thing is that the M4 and the new M3 M4 we really liked, right? They drove well.
Yes.
But they look like bowel movements. This does not look like a bowel movement.
Suddenly regretting this. If you've bought an M4, sorry. The M3 looks good though.
Really good car. Then
Better.
he changed anyway.
So if you didn't see that video and you're new to the M5 CS,
Yeah.
this is a stripped out, kind of more sporty, more highly tuned version of a normal M5 competition. So it has more horsepower, 627.
Which was not necessary, to be honest.
No, not really.
Because the M5 competition was already supercar fast.
It's lighter. It's got carbon fiber bonnet, carbon fiber roof, carbon fiber wing mirrors.
Yeah.
It has these carbon ceramics, which are normally painted red, which is weird because carbon ceramics you don't normally see as red.
No.
But these have been extra optioned with the gold.
Which is a very good look because this green on gold is fantastic.
It's wonderful.
Just the front end of this car and like the DRLs when you like unlock it glow.
Hopefully you saw some cool shots. Well, we're showing one now.
Now we are showing one.
Of it going yellow as it starts up and turns
This is
off.
seriously one of the coolest looking cars that you can get right now.
But
right?
apparently these are going to become unobtainium again.
In what way?
Well, idiots like us say it's really good.
Yeah.
And then they're limited amounts, and then everyone jacks up the price. I'm sorry, don't watch it.
Don't buy one of these if they jack up the price. It's worth $170,000, not $1 more Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay, can we drive this now? Because there is a good lot to talk about.
Yeah,
Okay.
go on, you drive it.
All right, here we go. This car is an exercise in reminding us why lightness is actually everything.
It's everything.
Not that this car is light, it's like 4,100 pounds, right?
That's light for a big, these days.
For these days,
That's
it is,
light.
yes. But like, I cannot overstate. I can't overstate the difference between this and the M5 competition in terms of just road feel.
I really wasn't expecting much.
I wasn't either.
I got in this car and I was like, it's going to be a marketing exercise.
Yep.
That's what CS stands for.
Yeah.
And
It's marketing exercise in German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it isn't.
It's just not. This car is sensational in like almost every single way. The steering is, since the mass is lower, I don't know if they adjusted the power steering pump or just naturally feels this way, but it's less assisted in the steering, so there's more front end feel.
Well, you've got more tyre patch with the road. You've got the more aggressive Pirellis.
Yep.
And yeah, you've got the lighter, and they've tuned the dampers on the front
differently to match the weight.
To match the weight. Now that they've saved the weight, they get to make it a bit more aggressive.
And there's like the doors themselves feel lighter. The whole car feels lighter, and you feel it the most under direction changes. I was saying to you, when I was cruising with it on the highway, I was having fun doing lane changes. Like just the act of feeling the chassis move between lanes, not even aggressively, it just feels stiff and it feels light.
You make that sound like you've rediscovered your childhood.
But you want to know why?
I went back in time and I enjoyed colouring in.
Because I just, yeah, that's right. Because like, yeah, just like you feel that on turn in, it it doesn't feel like it weighs anything. And
these seats keep you right in.
The seats are amazing, yeah.
Although, I think these are the one things kind of affecting the daily drive ability of it, because...
Yeah, they're not cooled. That's one issue that I have.
They're not cooled. They're heated.
Yeah.
But
they're heated when they're not heated, if you know what I mean.
But as a compared to being in like a lounge feeling like the M5 Comp, you feel like you're in a racy car.
Yeah, but it's still completely livable. The ride is fine. In fact, I'd have to back it perfectly, but I think that the ride in this is better damped than the M5 Comp. Remember that extra unnecessary bump?
But that's the soft. That's the what's carrying you into a bit of softness. I know what you're saying.
But this isn't harsh.
It's not too harsh.
It's
but you feel like you're in a performance car, though. There's no denying that.
You feel like you're in a performance car, and when I click into M mode, which by the way I don't understand because M mode doesn't do anything, I have to go to setup and put everything in Sport Plus.
Yeah, M mode only affects the driver assist.
Still understand. I still understand.
Because every time I talk to this, I understand.
Oh, the straight line performance of this car.
I just say there's so many Miatas out right now. I'm so happy about.
There's a lot of Miatas, yeah. But like, and we noticed it on the drag strip more than anything. Like it shoots off the line like a bat out of hell.
Yeah.
But then past 150 kilometers an hour,
it just keeps going.
It just keeps hauling like a supercar.
Like it made the red eye. If you haven't seen the video, go look at it. Otherwise, this is spoilers. But it made the red eye look like
I didn't move.
It didn't move. And EVs do this as well. This did what EVs does, which is it made it look like Thomas got a terrible launch, but he actually got an absolutely fine launch.
Got a great launch.
It's just so quick.
It's just so stinking quick.
What I want to talk about now, because we've done the red eye comparison, is RS6, E63. Those are the two fighters, and I know there isn't an RS6 Performance yet, and I know there isn't an E63S Black Series, which I guess would be a CS fighter. But in your words, this is what you wanted the M5 competition to be. So let's pretend for a moment that this is what the M5 competition is. Where does the RS6 and the E63S differ? And before you answer that, I will say that the RS6, and there's obviously styling choices there, and I've noticed, because the RS6 is new in North America, it's been an amazing approval of it. People are meeting up. There's like RS6 groups. It's already got a really cool culture around it. So
I'm sorry, you've been talking a lot. I've been trying to listen.
Yes.
But I was
I say Audi and you just zone out.
I zone right out.
Yeah.
I realized what happened in this car, and one of the reasons I like it so much, I could put it into words now, I just figured it out, is that I was driving around those corners at 4/10, and it's fun.
Yes.
BMWs nowadays can't seem to do that. With the exception of the M2 CS and this M5 CS, at lower speeds, the car is fun. And it's just been missing.
Because it's over-insulated.
And this isn't. This is the right amount of insulation for an M car.
Yes, I agree.
It's just so good. Sorry, is that about Audis? I feel rude now.
You were saying that you love the Audi RS6. You'd buy over this 3 times
That doesn't sound right. No. Anyway, the other thing that I'd like to say about this car is that...
I'll just go.
You guys believe.
I'm going to go into the secret compartment.
You did it. Oh my God,
you
you did it again. Yeah, it's not supposed to come up, but no, that was an accident the first time you did that, by the way.
It's very funny.
There's no idea.
I was like, how weak am I?
Yeah. Anyway, so this car, you shot the shots of me drifting around the track. You drifted this thing.
It was
like,
very fun.
Straight up.
We did a tandem drift.
We did a tandem drift.
Really fun.
Like
high fives were had after that.
It was super fun. It was like one of the coolest like Throttle House moments, other than when I think it was the old and new M3s were drifting.
Yes,
we did that, right?
Yeah.
That was super fun. But this car. Well, okay, I tried to drift an M5 competition a couple years ago, and I honestly had a hard time doing it. I found it numb, uncommunicative, non-communicative, discommunicated, and I found that I spun it a little bit too easily. Yep. This I never spun once, and like the slides that I was pulling off were just like smoke billowing out. You did it too, like just crazy, awesome, smooth, settled slides.
Very, very fun.
It's
very
what
fun.
an M5 should be.
And I said this in the review, the performance, which to most will seem very intimidating, thanks to BMW's superb transmission tuning, even now on the road, it's smooth.
It is smooth.
It doesn't wake up the way that the AMG multi-clutch gearbox does on the track. It just doesn't. But it's competent. The RS6 as well. No, the RS6's got a fun gearbox.
The RS6 is fine. This is more exciting than the RS6, I think.
Yes, the RS6 is not...
Oh my God, the performance of this car is...
Well, the four-wheel drive...
You saw the lap time? It's crazy.
The four-wheel drive, this thing just puts down the power.
It does. And in rear-wheel drive mode, it becomes every little bit of M car that you want it to be. It's just... This is the perfect car, James. I even don't even mind the technology in it because it. Okay, here's the issue. I hate BMW's tech. I don't like this stuff right now. I like the previous gen stuff way better. But this is the only car that I don't mind because the rest of the car is just so dang good that I don't care. Also, we spent some time in an Italian car recently.
Yes.
I don't know if that video is out yet.
It might not.
It might not be. But the technology in that was so offensively bad.
That was an expensive Italian
It was
car.
very
That's going to be on the main channel soon.
Yeah.
I will say,
this feels great.
over the years, and it's taken me a couple of years to get used to the technology in this, I love, this is a massive screen for CarPlay.
It's huge, yeah.
Such a wonderful application to CarPlay.
Yeah, and it's touchscreen.
And when you have this on the sport setting, that gauge cluster looks great.
Yep.
And this Apple CarPlay, which is wireless, we normally have issues with it. Thus far, it's been fine.
It's been fine.
Every BMW we seem to get into, it gets better every time.
Because they're clearly working out the bugs, right?
Yeah.
When they first implemented this new tech, it wasn't ready, it wasn't working. So like, I don't know what else I can say about this. Like, I'm just gonna keep gushing on it, and people are gonna start calling me a BMW fanboy again. But I'm not, because I'm a fan of what BMWs can be, not what they are. And this is an example of what BMWs can be.
And it's proof that modern day BMW can still do it.
And it makes me so happy, right? Because like if this is what they're capable of, just make all the M cars feel like this, because it's an M car. It should be like this. It doesn't need to be as fast. But
I even like the subtle CS stuff, like just the CS there.
Yeah, it's great.
I like the bronze accents outside.
Right, and like there's something about like just how stiff the car feels.
Yeah.
Just over this bump, like not in terms of ride, but like can you feel the lateral stiffness?
Well, we're in Sport Plus.
We're in sport, but I'm loving the sensation of this. These buckets feel very light and they feel very bolted to the chassis. So I've got this race car feeling in my butt. That's a weird sentence.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This car's
Although
amazing.
we did learn a hard lesson today
What's that?
about dark matte green.
I burnt my arm. I genuinely burnt my arm.
Yeah, it turns out
Doesn't reflect the sun.
Surfaces that aren't silver and metallic absorb a lot of heat.
I actually burnt my arm.
This car is a walking soldering iron right
It's
now.
really, really, really hot in here in the sun. But yeah, it looks so cool though, so it's fine.
What a success.
It's a massive success, this car. Listen,
Yeah.
BMW engineers, I don't know how many of you actually watch this and you probably hate me by now, but congratulations on this car. You nailed it.
Now go do it to the
Now
M5
go do
comp.
it to the M5 comp or whatever you have to do.
We don't need 627 horsepower, 560. 610 is fine, or 603.
We just need it to feel like this all the time. This is what the M car should feel like. This shouldn't have a CS badge on it. I just want this to be an M car. This is what it is.
Do you think the M5 competition is what the M5? I think the M550 does bet M5.
You okay? He broke. Reset.